This is the only, as in the only Honda I would consider buying. Would I consider buying it seriously? Yeah, I really would. You can't buy them today, but you will be able to, well, within 12 months. However, it's not really a Honda. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. Great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Honda actually made what I thought was one of the coolest little EVs, and they never really took electric cars seriously, so they didn't really sell them in most places around the world, and they were very, very expensive. The Honda E. Now, if you want to know what the Honda E is, I made a few videos on that one. I'll put a link in the description below. Now, because Honda hasn't really taken electrification seriously, it says it is now though, but because it hasn't in the past, it doesn't really have its own electric cars. It's getting General Motors to make them for Honda. Now, of course, this car has a Honda badge on it. It's called a Honda Prologue. You'll feel like a Honda driver if you buy one. Maybe you'll feel more superior to the General Motors version of this car, but the truth is, it's actually a General Motors vehicle using General Motors motors, General Motors platform, basically General Motors batteries. Now, to be fair, the batteries aren't really made by General Motors. They're made by General Motors and their joint battery partner, LG Chem, who General Motors, by the way, have had a falling out with recently, which makes things a bit challenging. Anyway, Honda has been teasing the Prologue for quite a while now. We now know that, well, the price, we know the approximate price, and we know what the range is going to be. Pricing will start in the high 40,000s. Probably in Australia when it will eventually come here. It'll be made in China. Probably be around about 70,000 Australian dollars approximately for the cheapest version. The model will cost around 45,000 to 50,000 in the US, where it will qualify for EV incentives, bringing that price down considerably closer to the $40,000 mark, which is really, really important. So when will the car actually be delivered? Well, 2024. Apparently early 2024. I don't think there'll be too many of these in early 2024. I think maybe, you'll start to see a few thousand being made per month then, and probably towards the end of 2024 we'll see more deliveries. What else do we know other than those prices I've just sort of mentioned? We don't know the exact prices, by the way, because Honda hasn't revealed them. Well, we know that it will have a combined power output in the base specification of 288 horsepower. Australians and UK and everyone else, that's 215 kilowatt. It's going to have 333 pound-feet of torque. That's 451 newton meters. So 288 horsepower, 215 kilowatt, and 451 newton meters of torque. And there will be a front-wheel drive variant, which I think is a bad idea in an EV. And so do many car manufacturers now. Rear-wheel drive is definitely a better option for an EV. Not for necessarily a petrol-powered car, an internal combustion-powered car, but for EVs it's definitely better. However, there will be an all-drive version as well. Now, to be fair, that's actually quite a lot of power for a front-wheel drive vehicle. So it's worth asking the question, will there be some axle tramp? Probably not axle tramp. Will there be some slip on those front tires? I don't know. This is kind of interesting because this will be one of the most powerful front-wheel drive cars in the world, other than obviously hot hatches. But hot hatches, petrol, gasoline-powered hot hatches, they have quite a bit of technology in the suspension system to try and get traction, and they have wider tires not made for efficiency. This will have efficiency-minded tires, so you're definitely going to get a bit of loose traction here, I'd say. Now, Honda said the base version will have 300 miles of range. That's exactly 483 kilometers, meaning it'll have a very similar range to the base version, the standard range version of the Tesla Model Y, not the US-made version. Well, the US-made version actually is pretty close to that, but the standard range version we're now seeing coming out of the factory in China, which has been upgraded, by the way. So that number seems to be pretty good, but considering the size of the battery pack, it's not really that efficient. It has an 85 kilowatt hour lithium-ion battery pack. It's not an LFP pack. It's a ternary battery, so obviously the NCM chemistry type battery. It will get you 65 miles of range charging in 10 minutes. So you charge it for 10 minutes on a fast charger with 155 kilowatt charging speed, It'll get you about 105 kilometers of range in that 10 minutes. Now, of course, that's optimum charging speed. You're not going to get that everywhere. Charging speed, like I said, is 155 kilowatt. The charging speed, in my opinion, for a brand new electric car that's coming out next year, probably not as fast as I think it should be. I think it should be aiming as a manufacturer to hit the 250 kilowatt mark. That, in my opinion, it's really, really important now for an EV and for EV use, for really getting more people to buy EVs and stick with them and not go, that was too hard. I think charging speed is really important. So manufacturers, in my opinion, need to really work on improving their charging speeds. In addition to that, when you buy one of these vehicles, Honda says it will give you, there's 3 different charging packages. The first is a $750 public charging credit. So you could use that for, say, supercharging network, for example. In addition to that, you can choose between a 7.6 kilowatt portable charging kit that comes with a $250 installation incentive and a $300 public charging credit, or an 11.5 kilowatt charging station that comes with a $500 installation incentive and a $100 public charging credit. Now, the way all that's going to work, I don't know. I was a bit confused just reading that to you. So we'll see what the details are involved when the car is actually on sale. Obviously, you've seen this car before. Comes with 2 different wheel sizes. My recommendation is, if you're going to order one of these or any EV, don't get the one with 21-inch wheels. The tires cost more and you're going to get a lot less range. You're probably going to get about 10% less range if you get the 21-inch wheels. Get the 19-inch wheels, plus they'll give you more comfort. So usually those tires with a higher sidewall, which the 19-inch wheels will have, will be more comfortable to drive on. There's really no advantage to the 21s at all, other than looks. Anyway, size. How big is it? It's slightly bigger than a Tesla Model Y in terms of the exterior dimensions, but the interior space is pretty similar, maybe slightly smaller. The overall length, I should say, is 192 inches. That's 4,877 millimeters. And the wheelbase is 121.8 inches, or 3,094 millimeters. That means the Prologue is 2.9 inches longer than the Honda Passport. So yeah, pretty similar size to a Tesla Model Y. Now, looking at the interior, you can see Honda have tried to hide the fact that this car is made by General Motors. But they haven't really hidden it all that well, because there's an OnStar button in the car. And that's obviously a General Motors feature. There's 3 trims available. The entry-level variant gets an 11-inch digital instrument cluster, so that's the screen right in front of the driver, and it gets an 11.3-inch infotainment system. It has Google built in, and this provides easy access to Google Assistant, Google Maps, and the Google Play Store. In addition to that, there's a 2-tiered center console that promises to have a class-leading storage capacity, as well as 2 cup holders that can hold 32-ounce water bottles. The crossover also comes with space-saving pocket-type wireless smartphone charging, and it has heated front seats and an 8-way power driver's seat with 2-way power lumbar support. Customers also find gloss black trim and dual zone climate control. If you want more luxury, you can pay more and you can get the mid-level touring specification. That has a leather-wrapped steering wheel and a black or light grey leather seat. Now, I don't know if they're actual real leather seats. Seems like manufacturers are kind of moving away from real leather, but hopefully they're real leather. Other highlights include hands-free power liftgate. So you can basically kick your foot underneath the back of the car and the liftgate will come up. So if you're holding a bunch of shopping, you can kick your foot. I really like that feature. That's cool. Other things you get are an auto-dimming rear view mirror, which I think is a must-have, a panoramic sunroof, which is just pointless in my opinion, and a 12-speaker Bose premium audio system. So I think that's actually a good feature in an EV, because you can really hear the quality of your sound system when you don't have any engine noise. You really, really can. It's something that I think is important. I found my BYD Atto 3 sound system was not that great. And to be honest, the car I had before that was a BMW X5, had a much better sound system. So that's one good feature with this car. The other feature I quite like about this car is I think it looks quite nice. I think this is maybe Honda's best looking car. Not to say it's even a Honda, but anyway, I think it's a really quite a good looking car. Do you guys agree? Let me know what you think on that one. The range topping Prologue Elite comes standard with all-wheel drive. So if you pay extra, probably about 10,000 to 15,000 US dollars more. You get a all-wheel drive and you get 21-inch wheels. So you're going to get a lot less range than 300 miles, probably closer to 250 miles on the most expensive version. What about storage? What's it like inside? It has 25.2 cubic feet of storage. That's 714 liters of cargo space behind the second row. So it's actually got more cargo space, I think, than any other Honda vehicle that I've looked at in years. It's got a really big size boot in this car. I really like that. That's practical. Sounds like it's got a similarly sized boot, in fact, to a Tesla Model Y, which has one of the biggest boots of any car that I know of in this category, in this segment. Well, that size can be expanded to 57.7 cubic feet or 1,634 liters if you fold down the rear seats. In addition, there is 14 liters of storage space hidden beneath the cargo floor. So I actually really like the design of this car. I'm not a huge fan of GM's Ultium platform. I think it's not bad, but it's just not as Ultium as what GM claim. And personally, I'm a really big fan of lithium iron phosphate batteries for numerous reasons that I've mentioned on the channel a lot of times. Obviously, it doesn't have that battery type. LG Chem, General Motors, don't have a great history with batteries lasting and not having recalls. They've obviously had numerous problems with battery packs. That is my only concern with this car. Other than that, I think it looks pretty good. Now, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching.